Sorry everyone, I'm doing sign language with Matt. So I just want to lay out this morning what our plan is we have a couple announcements. We have November's MVP and December's MVP, but neither of them are here, so we're skipping that. We'll get them next time. We'll get them in 2024. We do have a few stars to give out, and I think I'll do the stars first, and then Matt, Lisa, and Allison have some announcements, and then we'll get started. Our distinguished speaker is ready, so he doesn't mind being a little late. So I'm going to start with stars. First one, Melissa, can you come up here?
No.
Yes.
No.
Lori Garcio, are you around? So if I go back to the early days of our pandemic, our team did the best they could to bring in folks to do our vaccinations. And what we ended up finding out was from whether it was Walgreens or it was Wegmans or whoever was providing the vaccinations, this was their favorite place to go to do a clinic because it was so well organized. So not every place offers vaccinations, and we try to do the best we can to accommodate all of you. And to organize such an event really is a lot of work, and it seems easy because these two make it so seamless. And I know there's others, and there's volunteers among all of you that really help out, but I think it was really important, especially with the last one, because the last one was a little more stressful, just because there was 2 different vaccinations, and the time, and to be honest with you, the folks providing the vaccinations gave us a timeline that was a little too aggressive, so it really created some backups. But Melissa and Lori did such a great job of keeping everything organized and keeping their cool as best as they could, and giving all of you the vaccinations that you want. How many did we give out?
It was over 160 vaccines.
Over 160 shots. In 4 hours. That's impressive. So, here, can you give yourself stars?
Yeah.
So much.
I'm going to take 2.
And again, this couldn't happen. We couldn't do it without people who are so dedicated. And if you just know anything about Lori, she doesn't do this because she feels it's a duty she owes all of you. She feels it's something she really wants to do. It's in her heart. And Melissa is our key organizer, so thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
I'm looking in the back, I'm pausing. Where's Jen Pelican? I don't see her. So Jen's not getting a star because she doesn't deserve one. Instead, just kidding. Jen, come on up. She's going to help me give out a star to a couple of our activities folks who work in our health center. And I don't want to steal your thunder, but I just want to say we had survey a couple weeks ago. And when the Department of Health comes in for a survey, it is very stressful. And it's all hands on deck, and we really have to do the best we can to just keep things going, to focus on our residents because our staff has someone looking over their shoulder. So we couldn't do it without 2 of our activities folks who really stepped up, and I say step up, they do it every day. So Jen, you want to?
Katie and Kathy, come on up. I can't say enough about these 2 ladies. They're incredible. They're up in skill. They're our 2 leads that run programs all day long. They're so dedicated and passionate, and you can just feel the love from them towards the residents. Skilled is a very special unit. I love it. It's one of my favorite places to be. But they're very busy. And, we have all different cognitions up there, so they have to run programs to meet the needs of our residents that love doing trivia and bingo. And then they also have to meet the needs of some of our end-stage people with dementia. They do a lot of sensory, hand-holding. I want to tear up. I mean, they are just amazing. I can't say enough. Go ahead, Bill.
And it's not just group activities. As I'm trying to picture what you're thinking in your head. Is it oftentimes I'll walk through the center area of our health center, of our skilled nursing unit, and you'll see 5 or 6 folks in a group activity, and it just warms your heart. But then you see the one-on-ones for someone who just, they need that. You know, they're not feeling it that day, and you'll see Katie walking by and just holding someone's hand and spending that time to do one-on-one. So it really is a lot of care that's given and a lot of effort from these two with enormous hearts. So thank you so much.
Thank you girls so much.
All 4 of us were getting choked up at the same time. Okay, so that's it for stars. So I'm going to have Allison come up with some announcements.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for everyone that came down to the tree lighting yesterday. I thought that was really, really nice. Jen found some great music. It was just a nice way to kick off the holiday season here at Fox Run. So we're going to continue that every year. So thank you for that. I also want to thank you for your generosity towards the Western New York Foster Closet. Mary Wellington brought the donations to the McKinley campus this past Monday, and they were overjoyed with the presents we received. We had over $300 that was donated from residents who made money during the holiday shop to donate that towards the kids at Christmas time. So thank you again for that. We appreciate it. And lastly, there's a sign on the bulletin board, but we are missing a cart that belongs at the south entrance. It's a smaller cart with a red handle. It's a flatbed. It's a light gray color. That belongs to one of our community members, and this community member is kind enough to leave it there so it can be used by all of us at Fox Run. So if you grabbed it by mistake, it's in your storage cage, you see it anywhere, please just, we're asking that you return it to the south campus.
Is it labeled, Allison?
It is not labeled. Once we find it, we are gonna label it so it stays there. And I did look through the crowd for any new faces about move-ins, and we do have Marilyn Jarrell in the audience. Marilyn, would you wave? Marilyn joined our community in October, but I think this is your first coffee hour you've attended. So welcome, Marilyn. We hope you're enjoying life here at Fox Run. Then I would like to pass it on to some staff announcements before we get into resident announcements. Matt, do you want to come up?
What, no clapping?
Go!
Hey, Grumpy.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Just a couple announcements. First thing, recycling. Many of you noticed that those blue totes are not here any longer. That service has been discontinued. That service was directly for paper and cardboard. The company has decided to go a different route, so all you're going to see is the green totes. The green totes does accept all forms of recycling: the paper, the plastic, and the cans. All of the stuff can go in those cans, and then their plant sorts it out. Okay?
Glass also?
Glass.
No glass. Sorry, I meant to say cans. Okay? And no wine bottles, because wine bottles are not recyclable.
Colored wine bottles.
Actually, even the clear ones have dye in them now too, and they're not. But anyways, all the recycling that you've normally been putting in those rooms, all go in the same totes from now on. Okay? The regular glass, yes, but the wine bottles, it was a conversation I had with the Green Committee. So we were talking about wine bottles, but most of the wine bottles are not recyclable. You can still put them in there, even though I prefer you not to, but most of the time, by the time it gets to the plant, they're just going to throw it out anyways.
You put them in the garbage? Where do you put them?
Yes, in the garbage. It's either the recycling can or the garbage.
Matt? Bag in the garbage.
One at a time. What's that, Alona?
In a bag in the garbage?
Yes, please make sure all of your garbage is bagged, put it in the garbage, please.
Okay, in the garbage in a bag.
Yes, yes.
How does it affect living in the patio home?
It doesn't. Everything just goes in one tote. Everything can just go in one tote, because it's all gonna go in the same, when we pick that up, it just goes into the same green totes when we go on. Okay? Yes, Sue?
Are you gonna put up great big new signs over the tote?
I'm working on that as we speak. I'm working on that, and I'm also working on a memo to be sent out. I have to look at, see what's on the existing signs right now, but this kind of happened last minute, them deciding that they weren't going to take the cardboard anymore. Recycling is going through a lot of changes lately. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, a lot of things can be recycled. The problem is now is that everything that supposedly can be recycled isn't being recycled anymore. And I'm getting more and more information from Waste Management, from Cascades and stuff like that. Before, they used to pay us for cardboard, okay, back in the day. Now, we have to pay them, okay? But, you know, that's just the way it is. So we're trying to come up with the best and most efficient way possible. We're still recycling cardboard, okay, but it's still costing, it's still a cost to us to do it. Any other questions about recycling? Okay, snow. We had our first little event, okay. I am going to continue what we've been doing for the past couple of years, and I will be sending out another memo, but this is what I'm looking to do. Fox Run and my maintenance staff will be moving cars when I see it to be necessary to do so. If it's only of a couple inches, there is no reason to move all the cars, okay? Every snow event or snowstorm, whatever you like to call it, or disaster, it's always something different. So no matter what policy or procedure we have, there's always something else that interferes with it. So moving forward, like in this past case, we had a foot of snow. I saw it necessary to move all the cars in the north parking lot and brush them off since we were out there. Now, there are challenges on my staff for this. Most of the time we have keys for most of the vehicles. Other times we don't, which puts a damper on us clearing out the lots in a more efficient time. I'm going to start working with Pamela in regards to how many keys we have. Is it possible that even though you don't want to give us keys, if you can still give us keys for this type of an event, that would help us clear the lots efficiently. If your car needs to be valeted and you want it done by a specific time, you still need to fill out a valet form, preferably 24 hours in advance, okay? And also, if you have any issues with either the cars not being brushed off, snow somewhere, I understand you want the first person to call is Pamela, okay? Pamela does not have all the answers. And Pamela will make sure she tries to get you answers, but sometimes she cannot always reach me. Please call me directly on my office line, okay? Pamela is more than happy to direct your phone call or directly to me, and I will personally handle it, okay? Pamela has a lot going on, and I like to make sure that, you know, when it comes to, well, my car wasn't brushed off yet and I'm leaving in 3 hours, Pamela will stop to no end to make sure that she gets an answer. The problem is, you still have 3 hours. We may be getting to it, and she may not know that. And then it turns into a radio call to the maintenance staff who's already working diligently outside for a valet that doesn't have to happen for 3 hours. It gets a little bit frustrating to a certain degree. And again, anytime that you call my office, it goes directly to an email and it goes directly to my phone. If you always see me, I'm always doing this half the time, and the reason why is because I'm always checking emails and checking voicemails and stuff for this type of situation. But I'm also looking to see if I can have your patience, because during a snowstorm or a snow event, okay, I have to prioritize everything, and it gets difficult. So if the lots are plowed in, and yet I still don't have emergency exits or my main exit's clear, I have to focus on them first. If you have an emergency and you need to get to the hospital, my main objective is making sure that that entryway is cleared for for an ambulance to go up, to come up. And of course, every snow event that happens, it either happens at 7 o'clock at night or on the weekend, where Fox Run only typically has so many staff on hand. Remember, at second shift, I only have 2 gentlemen on staff, and then there's a couple other guys that help out, or I may be coming back in. In the morning, when I assess what's going on, Pamela's usually my first phone call, and she's like, what's happening? Are we brushing off cars? Are we moving cars? I will give Pamela direction of what's happening first. Most of the time, I'm here by 6:30 in the morning. There are 2 days where I do come in to put my kids on the bus, and it's so joyful in the morning to put my kids on the bus. But I am always available, okay? Please be patient. And also, there's all the factors too. I may not brush off all the cars because it's supposed to be 45 degrees and raining in the day, okay? I also take that into consideration as well. When I prioritize of what areas I'm cleaning out first, it may start off as entrances, main walkways, main emergency exits, and then I start working on sidewalks and other areas and trying to clean up, along with cars. And also valets. People may be having already valets in there that need to be done at certain times, where it allocates two gentlemen to go there and do the valet for the car, okay? So please be patient. If there is questions or concerns, please call me directly on it. If you'd like to put in a work order, of course, please talk with Pamela. But remember, Pamela doesn't always have all the answers, and she does try her hardest, and she does an excellent job in doing it. But please, most of the time, Pamela's gonna be like, well, I have to contact Matt. It would be better off if you contacted me directly so I can contact you directly. Because if you're at Pamela's office or desk and you're waiting for an answer, you're gonna be sitting at her desk waiting for Pamela to call me, and if I'm not available at that particular moment in time, it's going to be more frustrating to you, okay? And I don't want that to happen. So please contact me directly. Any questions? Okay, I will be putting out a memo in regards to this, okay? If there's any questions or concerns, again, Pamela has my direct office line number, okay? And you can contact me directly. Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
And Lisa has a couple announcements, and then we'll do our resident announcements. All right, I'll be short and sweet. I just want to piggyback on what Matt was talking about with snow. Just as a reminder, we kind of talk about this every year. For deliveries to the patio homes, we do those once a day. They're between 4:30 and 5. I know with the inclement weather, sometimes we might change our mind and want to eat it instead of coming down to the dining room. Try to make those plans ahead of time and look at the weather and think ahead, because we can't send the maintenance man 3 and 4 times to the patios, especially when he's supposed to be doing the snow removal and maybe even responding to PERS and things like that. In the summer, we make some exceptions. The servers might like the sunny little walk, but in the winter, try to stick to that one-time delivery so that we can make sure everybody's accounted for where they're supposed to be. Second thing, if you could look in your cabinets and your drawers, or maybe your dishwasher, where you're running out of things. The wine glasses specifically. So I know it's nice at the end of the pub, you can walk right home with your drink and finish it off, but we don't need to know who you are. If they just all magically appear back on the bar, we'll wash them and take care of them. Silverware also. I have seen it in the walkers, so please, if I see it, I may just take it. So we spend a lot of money on those things, and we don't want to have to unnecessarily do that. So if you can, please bring those things back. And my third thing, I always like to remind everybody, please be conscious of your time in the dining room. We are more than happy to serve your coffee in a to-go cup if you'd like, and if you want to take that out to one of our beautiful sitting areas by the fireplace or anything like that, that would be great. We just want to make sure we can get everybody in. We have some people who are coming in at 4:30 and at 6:45 we're saying have a good night, but there's other people that do need to eat.
We found the culprit, sorry.
So, they always say it starts at the top, right? So all of you check your drawers too. Okay, so yes, but please just be conscious. We are more than happy if we want to open, if you want to sit in the bistro and have a chat, that's great. We just want to make sure we can get everybody into that dining room at a good time. Okay? I think that's all I have. Now we'll do some resident announcements. Jan?
Good morning, everyone. Wow, what a big crowd today. There has been a Christmas tree donated, and it's in the bistro, and it needs decorations. So our thought was to have each resident choose one of their decorations from home, an ornament, and put it on the tree for holiday season. And at the end of the season, you would just take that ornament back home. If you want to put your name on it, or your apartment number, your patio home number on the ornament, that would be fine. But I'm sure you know which ornament you're going to put on the tree and which one you're going to take. Okay? Allison, do you have another announcement?
Yeah. Come on.
A lot of residents have guessed, but I am expecting a baby. Thank you. Patty?
Congratulations.
We have a very special program coming up for you in 2 weeks, and I just wanted to make sure you are all aware of it. Only one person in our community that I know of has gone to the White House to have tea with the president's wife, Laura Bush. So Debbie Schwabel is going to come in 2 weeks, and she's going to bring her Christmas ornament that hung on the Christmas tree at the White House. I'm not quite sure how she's going to get it here, Bill. I'm sure Bill will help. Anyhow, folks, remember, 2 weeks from today.
Thank you, that will be nice. Lona?
How exciting. Birth. Congratulations again. I have actually 3 announcements, but they're short. Number 1, the garbage, which we talked about at length. The containers that you get your food in, the white ones, they go into a garbage bag in the garbage. They don't get thrown into the garbage. I don't care if you wash them, you clean them, they go into the garbage bag. Number 2, the tabs. I've been questioned on the tabs that we take off of the containers. Those go to the Shriners. They weigh them, the money goes to the Shriners burn treatment for children. So that's an important thing to do as well. If you forget to take them off and stick them where the cans are, I've got wonderful Janie James and I take off the tabs, okay? But please remember to do that. And number 3, we don't want to make a big deal of it, but it's Don Hayes' birthday. Happy birthday, Don.
Happy birthday.
Becky had a quick announcement.
Hello. Can I have all of my cardio drumming classmates to stand up? Oh, jeez. Only 6 of you are here? Okay. All right, so I just wanted to show who is part of cardio drumming. And everybody except for Mr. Bear, I think, is part of the concert that we're having, our 2nd annual cardio drumming concert. December 12th, so that is a Tuesday, and it's going to be at 2 o'clock here, okay? So I hope that you will join us because they've worked really hard and they've gotten really good. I'm very impressed with them. That's all I have to say.
I just want to ask Matt and reiterate, everything is supposed to be clean that goes in that recycle bin, right?
Yes.
So, the fake bean can should be rinsed out, right?
Right.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
And then RSVP for the party.
And then just lastly, before I pass it off to Bill, we have the Fox Run Choir Concert the day after cardio drumming. That's the 13th of December. That's a Wednesday. That's at 11:15. These will be taped as well, but please come down and support the choir and the cardio drumming concert. And then lastly, if you have not RSVP'd, please don't forget to RSVP to Pamela for the Christmas party. Our numbers seem a little lower than we thought, and I know most of you are planning on attending, so please don't forget to RSVP to her and with your guests.
When is the party?
Oh, I'm sorry, the party is Wednesday, next Wednesday, December 6th. It starts at 4:30.
Okay, well, I guess it's time for our distinguished speaker to start the presentation. So I've been talking for probably about a year and a half now about plans, future plans. What are we going to do? And then I tried to give as much information as I could as we went along. And the reason, it was deliberate, because we really didn't know exactly what we were going to do. And to be honest, we still don't. We had a meeting, and I'm going to get into all this. We had a meeting with the Town Zoning Board of Appeals last week, and they rejected our plan. So these are the reasons why, when I made a promise, I'll show you what it looks like in August, and then September, and now it's December 1st. And it's just because of the process, because it's taking a long time, and there was a lot of uncertainty whether we could do a project. So I don't want you to think I was withholding. It's more of I get excited for the future, and if we can't do it, I'd hate to get folks excited as well and then take it away. So with that, as we start talking about the plans, I know I've chatted with a lot of you over the past, again, year, and there's excitement, but then I know there's also apprehension. Nobody likes change, and when you do a project of this magnitude, it's inevitably going to impact some of you more than others because of where it's located, and change is always difficult. We like how things are right now, but we should always look to the future. So this right now is just a picture of our campus map as it is today. It looks like it's an old one because the health center is wrong, so I'll just go right to...
Turn it on. This side. Yep.
Thank you. I thought the red meant on. Okay, so I'll just go here and I'll press the button. So I thought I'd start with change. So I thought I'd start with some quotes. I looked up some quotes yesterday. I cannot say whether things will get better if we change. What I can say is they must change if they are to get better. Change is the law of life, and those who only look to the past or present are certain to miss the future. Continuity gives us roots. Change gives us branches, letting us stretch and grow and reach to new heights. I like that one. A wise man changes his mind, a fool never will. Don't be afraid to give up the good and go for the great. Change before you have to. I like that one. To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. And finally, the price of doing the same old thing is far higher than the price of change. So why are we expanding? Not because of those two arrows. Just why are we expanding? So we enter into a long-range strategic planning process with our board of directors. Our goal is to plan for the future while continuing to meet the expectations of the folks that live here today, all of you in this room. Why? Well, it's important for all of you in this room that we keep updating and improving. So one of the things we learned after visiting a lot of other communities and talking to the investors that own the bonds that funded this campus, they said the one big failure of every community is they don't update, is they wait too long because look at this, it's beautiful, we don't need to do anything. 20 years later, it's an old building that needs tens of millions of dollars of updates rather than minor updates as we go along. And the one thing that those investors noted is that Fox Run over the years has been very good at keeping things fresh and up to date. Communities that do not update end up struggling. I need to proofread better. And then inflation, and this is where the arrows come in. We need to respond to rising costs while limiting how much is passed along to you. So if you look at this is revenue over the years. It's slowly increasing. When you see revenue, I'm sorry, that's resident revenue, that's all of your service fees, that's the health center. And here's the operating expense to keep Fox Run running. You can see this gap is shrinking over time. So, and I remember thinking about this 5 and 10 years ago, even back when I was the CFO, we just keep increasing service fees, and that those expenses are getting closer and closer, and we don't want to get to the point where it's passed on to you so hard that it becomes difficult. I know the last 2 years we had two of our largest service fee increases. We're still much lower than others in the states. One downstate just did their largest one ever, and it was 6.5%. And but these are the things that have to be in the back of a strategic planner's mind. So as I look at this, I think of the future. I think of all of you in this room. I think of 5 years, 10 years from now. And just to make a point, many of you in this room are new to Fox Run over the past 4 years. So as I have this picture having this conversation 5 years ago, and I say, we need to change for the next generation. The next generation already lives here. And so you have to keep moving forward. And if we were to do a project, I wish we started a long time ago, but the pandemic got in the way. So continuing on, why are we expanding? Well, we need to improve our amenities. What we have here today, and when I say amenities, I think of wellness, I think of the fitness center, I think of the dining room, the bistro, all the things that we have to offer, this room itself too, they need updating, and it's time to do that. So how many of you have struggled with hearing a presenter in this room, just as an example? Not everyone projects as well as others, so there's a lot of updates we need to incorporate now because they weren't thought of 16 years ago, or they're outdated. Fitness center is another great example. So current amenities are in need of an upgrade. We need to appeal to the next generation. Again, that comment. Well, why aren't you appealing to us in this room? Well, you were the next generation a couple years ago, so it's just we bring in probably 20 to 24 new faces every year. So it keeps turning over. So we need to appeal to the folks that are going to be moving in the future. We need to listen to our market. The interest in Fox Run is at the highest it's ever been. Right now we have 75 people on a wait list who want to move in here. And this type of community, I think I've told you before, there's only 13 in New York State. There's only 2 in the Buffalo area. So there's just not enough of us to go around. So the demand is there for your future neighbors that live in their homes right now that are looking to come into a community like Fox Run. Our market is underserved, and again, people want to live here and we can't because we're full. So how are we expanding? And don't worry, I'll get the pictures at some point. Well, we're looking to increase our number of independent living units. We're probably going to grow apartments by 60 to 75 units. You don't know yet? Well, we presented a plan to the town with 73 new units and it was rejected, and I'll get into that. So we have to scale back a little and do something that the town will approve. We're going to increase patio homes by approximately 8, so 4 buildings. There could be more if we are able to utilize some of our space a little more, or even expand Fox Run's footprints geographically and by property. There will be no change to our health center because we had just done an expansion from 2017 to 2019 and finished just before the pandemic. And of course, we want to make renovations to our commons area. We want to add new amenities while improving and expanding our current amenities. So, excuse me, a few specifics. Independent living units, they're going to be similar to our existing units with a few adjustments based on current resident input. So many of you have said, and I hear this through the grapevine, I hear this through rumor, why aren't they asking us what we think? They should be taking our opinion. We do. So we've heard from you for 16 years. People in this room, and I don't mean to say that it is, and I hope that didn't come across as snarky, but if Matt gets, boy, I wish the lighting was better. So then we never had the recessed lighting, the can lighting. I wish this closet door were wider. I wish the door opened this way instead of that way. The stackable washer and dryer are not only difficult for you to operate, but they're difficult for us to maintain. So these are those little things we hear over the years, and there's many more of these that we are now incorporating into the design of a similar size unit. So let's say if anyone lives in a pair, and now we're going to have a pair in the new wing, that pair will be very similar, but it's going to incorporate those little things that you've shared with us over time. Also, you've just flat out sent emails or told us, hey, Bill, here's what you need to think about. And one I can think off the top of my mind is sound. Soundproofing better. So that's something we need to think about incorporating into our new plan. And that's all from feedback from you. Let's see, we're going to include units with the greatest demand right now. We're along this wait list, and those are all mostly larger units. And the patio homes will be virtually the same, but with those little tweaks that you've given us. Let's talk about amenities, because this is kind of the most fun for me right now. So we're going to focus on wellness and improved gathering spaces. So we're going to create a brand new and expanded wellness suite. Larger wellness office, so Lori and her staff, which she will be getting at some point. We're going to have an exam room, a massage room, a new salon, new creative arts room with more natural light. We're going to move all resident services staff to one location. So Allison is over in the back by us. Lori is upstairs on the second floor next to the greenhouse. Nicole and Jackie are over here off to the side. We're going to bring everyone together in one area for better continuity to serve you better. We're going to expand the fitness center. It's way too small, and the equipment is not enough and outdated. And of course, add new and more fitness equipment. Amenities. We're going to focus on, apparently I have this one twice. Oh no, okay, so gathering space. Okay, I had the same first line as a title. We're going to no longer have the pub where it is now. We're going to have a larger pub with a bar and expanded seating. We're going to have a new card room and library on the first floor, not the second floor. There's going to be patio space outside the billiard area, so behind me, outside, there's this alcove that's going to be a patio. We're going to add a theater with comfortable seating. So I've seen this in quite a few communities. It's not going to be as big as this room. It's not going to be as big as going to whatever the theater is called over by the Target Plaza. But it's going to be smaller and more quaint and probably serve, if I have to guess, maybe 20 people. And it allows us to do a couple things. It'll allow us to watch movies, it'll allow us to have presentations, and who knows, so I'm sure we'll be creative with it. We're going to expand the dining room and create updates to the existing seating. So we had a specialist come in here yesterday, actually, to our dining room. And what are all these pillars for? These are terrible. They look awful. What is with this open area? The sound must be awful. So all of these things are going to be updated. We're going to expand seating in the bistro. We're going to create a whole new art gallery. So what have we done so far? Well, we've hired One Point Partners. This is our development firm. And I met one of the partners back in 2019, and we started talking about what can we do? What does Fox Run look like? Should we expand? Should we partner? Should we create a satellite campus? And we settled on the one specific plan that I'm going to show you shortly. We hired EGA Architects. It's a Connecticut firm that specializes in CCRC expansions. So they've created new communities, they've expanded existing. In fact, we are going to, there's 4 of us, in about a week and a half, we're going to travel to the New England states, and we're going to tour a couple communities that just recently expanded. We kind of know what we want to do, but we want to also see what they did, find out what didn't work. Because we've done things, even with our new health center, that we thought were perfect. This is what you have to do. And then we realized after the fact, boy, I wish we could have done that differently. That's going to happen inevitably. But this way, if we check out a few other communities, we'll maybe get a sense of what's working and what's not. We hired Lehigh Construction. So Lehigh is right around the corner. They are an Orchard Park construction firm. And they will be, right now they're the pre-construction manager. So as we're looking at, as an architect is designing everything that's going to happen, Lehigh is pricing it out, and they will likely be the builder as well. So this last bullet point, we applied to the town of Orchard Park for a code variance for our first plan, and it was already denied. It was last Tuesday. or was it Tuesday, Matt?
Yes.
Okay, last Tuesday. Oh, that's right, because we had a couple of you here. So I'll get into, again, some of these. I just want to give you a timeline here. Our next steps, since we were denied, we're going to focus on an alternate design that fits the town code requirements, and I'll explain why we were rejected in a second. We need to submit to the town planning board for conceptual feedback. We're looking for a January meeting, so we have to get information to the town board by December 18th for the January 11th meeting. Once we get past the town, that's the smallest hurdle. The biggest hurdle is New York State Department of Financial Services. These scary stories we've heard that things take a year to a year and a half before they even get to it and tell you whether they approve it or not. So for us to expand, let's say we add 70 units and say there's couples, so now there's 90 new people moving into Foxborough. We can't just do that. We have to have the state approve it because they need to look and actuarially prove out that we will still be successful. They don't want you just building, spending money, and then faltering. They want to make sure that you have the right plan in place. And it's quite a process. And from there, and this is the original plan, we hope to secure financing for this project in early 2025. The early numbers are coming in over $30 million of just construction costs alone, all in probably closer to $50 million. So we'll have to likely sell municipal bonds like we did when we originally built the campus. We hope to start building in early 2025, but it's now looking like it's going to be later, and we hope to complete by mid-2027. Now that's looking more like end of 2027. This is the original timeline. I know it's hard to see, but concept design, this was 2022 we started talking about it. Schematic design, this is where I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. That's up to the end of August. And then town variance, design development, these are all the things that we have to do as we go along. Some of them happen concurrently, like this is a big one, marketing. So to actually start marketing this, we have to start before it's even built. So that makes things a little tricky, especially when you don't have your final design yet. So with that, I'm going to close this and then open another one. So while I jump around, everyone close your eyes. And this was just put together by One Point last night, so I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I'm going to skip through it. Whose patio home is that?
21.
21.
21. Skelton.
It's a nice one, right? It's back here somewhere.
For us.
Cool. This is really sensitive. Okay, so this is really hard for you to see. This is the original concept design. By the way, these boards up here are going to be the same thing. I'm going to leave them up here so you can spend all the time you want coming up to look at them. This right here is the apartments, right? This is the commons. This is the entrance right here, the commons entrance. Pamela is here's my office right here in that corner. We're sitting right here. Okay? One of the new wings is going to go right out from the creative arts room, straight out into the parking lot. It will be, the plan was it was going to be 3 stories. And this is how we're going to do it. We're limited in our space. We are on a 54-acre campus. The majority of it is undevelopable wetland. So as we looked at how do we expand, what's it going to look like, this is nothing like my original in my head. But this is the way to go because the architects listened. They were actually here speaking to some of you. They listened to all of us as administration. What's easy, what's difficult. We wanted to have wings attached to the existing building so the walking distance is shorter. So some of the new styles we see is somebody will go out into the field and put in a whole new set of townhomes. Well, there's a distance that comes with that where you have to walk outside. There's already a distance for patio homes, but we want to limit it. And if we're going to add a bunch of apartments, it should be connected to the building and easy for folks to get around. So this is one wing, again, coming out. So you almost go out these doors and make a left by the billiard table. And just as you get to the hallway, that's going to be the entrance going straight out into the parking lot. And it's actually exactly where I'm parked right now. The other wing will be off the south. So this is the south entrance. The south entrance will be no more. It's going to look different. There's going to be a wing that comes out and turns a little bit in toward the southern parts of where the road turns. The carports will go away. I'm sorry.
All carports?
The carports were by the south will go away because there's going to be a wing on top of them. Again, change. Change is going to impact a lot of you. The folks who live near the south are going to be near construction. So I just want to be clear that that's just how it's going to, the only place for us to put it. This is our health center here. This is the health center entrance. There's an open field across from the health center, the tall grass. That's going to be the site of 8 new patio homes. So with that, we went to the town, and the town rejected our 3 stories. Let me explain. Our roof line is 35 feet high. If you look at our building, it's all attic space. So the town code says no higher than 35 feet and no more than 2.5 stories. So our architect designed something and they said, well, we can go to 35 feet. There's wasted space in that attic. So let's take the pitch of the attic, flatten it out, and go up, create dormers, and add a 3rd floor. Brilliant. Because this is how we can, in order for this to be successful, we need numbers. We can't just add 40 units because it's not enough to pay for itself. So we want to add more apartments so that we can pay for it and that we can not put a financial burden on all of you. So with that, 3 stories made sense. So we went to the town and we explained to them that here we meet your height requirements. We're doing this anyway. Can you give us 3 stories? And they opened it up to the floor, and we had a few of you there. Jan Brenner was there, Dick O'Brien was there, and George Herbert was there. And I was there with our architect and our developer and our attorney. And people from the audience were neighbors, and they asked great questions. A few neighbors stood up, people I've never seen before, and said, I walk Fox Run every day with my wife, and I love it. They're so kind. It's a beautiful community. I meet people. They're very friendly. I'm for it. And then folks who live across from directly across from California Road, they said, I really don't want to look at another building. You know, back when I was a kid, those were woods. It was beautiful. But there was nothing really earth-shattering. So I was shocked when the zoning board chairperson asked for a motion, and nobody gave a motion, so she said, well, I'll make a motion. I think there's, her words were, I think there's a people population issue. I don't know what that means, but that's what she said. And she said, it doesn't, oh, I wish I had the exact wording. I'm looking at Matt, he wasn't even there.
Aesthetics?
She felt like it didn't fit the community. Yeah. So she said, I vote to deny. One person said no, I'm for it, and the others all said deny. So it was inexplicable, they just said no. That was it. So what's our next step? There is no next step because they said no. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the 2.5 story option. So the code says 2.5 stories. So what the heck is a half story?
Short people live up there.
I'm moving. New apartment.
So the way the code is written, I'll use this example. So right here is a new wing. Technically, half of it cannot be 3 stories. So half can be, and the other half has to be 2. The average of the 2 is 2.5. That's how they do it. So that is the legal technicality of this, but the planning board can still say no. They may look at it and say, it's still 3 stories. We will say, but it's not, it's 2.5 according to your definition. And they're going to say, no, it's still 3. The answer is no. And that's a likely outcome. And then attorneys have to get involved. So what we found is they're terrified of precedent. So Orchard Park has been very careful for the past however many years of not letting 3-story buildings in their community. And I think that goes for the expected influx of various applications with the new stadium and hotels. So for whatever it may be, I think the sense is if they say yes to us, they have to say yes to everyone. So we're hoping that they let us get away with the 2.5 stories. Who said they won't? You're probably right, Neil.
Oh, don't say that.
Neil, we share the same birthday. You're supposed to be more positive. Okay. So this is a new plan that we're going to go with, and this is where it's going to be impacting more people. So in order for us to get to where we need to be, we're proposing a 3rd wing right off of the end of, this is right where the maintenance shop is. So the maintenance shop will go away and there'll be a wing coming out adding this will be 2 stories, this will be 2.5, and this one will be 2.5. And then, so this color brown just shows things that we're looking to add. So right here you'll see, this is right off of, this is the dock. So we're going to put some storage for maintenance there because we're taking away maintenance storage here. This area will create a little parking lot that goes in because these carports will be gone. These are the ones that maintenance uses for storage. And they'll create a parking area in here and actually a courtyard. And we'll have some seating in the courtyard and grassy area. So this should actually be a really nice courtyard here. There's a little gray piece, a little brown piece here that's an expansion of our fitness center, which I'll show you a blow up of. And then that's it for now. Okay, so this is more of an explanation of the proposed half-story. So this is a blow-up of the south entrance. So if the wing goes like this piece will be 2 stories, this will be 3. So again, the average of 3 plus 2 is 2.5. I know.
3 plus 2 is 5.
And you know what, they're going to find a way to fight with us, I bet. Okay, let's talk about the inside. Okay, so this is the layout of the common area. I'm standing right here. This is the Maloney Center. Those are the offices. Those used to be our offices. We're going up on the 2nd floor. This will be your whole new wellness suite. And I'll show you, I hope there's a blow up on here of that one. There is, good, okay. And the plan was, the goal was, the blue up there on top, that's our fitness center. That's going to expand, and we thought it makes sense to have the fitness center flow right into the wellness suite. And I'll show you the details of the wellness suite, because what is the future generation of Fox Run want? Wellness. Whether it's physical, whether it's mental, just gathering space, just amenities for you to take care of yourself because you may not have the space in your apartments. This is the Oak Room. We're looking to those kind of little goofy cutouts that where you can see into the hallway where the artwork is. We're going to take those cutouts out, add more space. We're going to take out the, what do you call that, Lisa?
The culinary,
the
cooking counter.
That cooking counter, and add more tables there. And where the Acorn Room is, that's going to go out onto the patio because not many people use the outdoor space there. They use the patio by the doors, but not the other one. So we're going to knock that out and create more dining space, but we're going to break it up in a way that feels right and allow better seating options. So this is my favorite part. So right here is where the pool table is. Right where's Nicole? Is she here? Right where Nicole's office is, that's where the pub is going to be. It's going to be much bigger. It's going to have seating, which will allow you to order food from the bistro, bring into the pub. We're probably going to have the pub open more days. Right across the hall, there's going to be the theater in purple. And I'll blow it up with some other things and show you more. Okay. Oh, this is a better one. And you can't see that at all. Okay, so And the thing is, this little red dot doesn't work. Oh, it does. Oh, can you see the red dot?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so there's my office, right in the corner.
Right.
That is now the creative arts room.
Oh.
This is the hallway that goes to the mailboxes. You're going to go. This is the entrance right here now. The entrance is going to be moved. The entrance is going to be moved down. This will be the salon. This is a little waiting seating area. This should be a massage area. This will be Lori's wellness office and an exam room within the office. So I know we have a podiatrist, and it could give us other opportunities if there's other specialists that need to come in and see you with better privacy. Creative arts room. This will be activity offices. And the creative arts room is going to be not what we have now. It'll be more traditional activities in creative arts. There'll be a sink, Jan.
Thank you.
And these will be more offices. Allison's office, Nicole's office will be over here, and it's really hard for me to see. This purplish blue area, this is going to be, we do need to have a marketing function on the first floor. Marketing is going to be upstairs with the rest of the administrative offices, but it'll be the closing rooms and meeting rooms. So if prospects want to come in, we can sit and meet with them. This orange area right here, this will be the new gallery, which will be right next to Pamela. And it'll be bigger than our existing gallery. And Pamela just waved to me because she heard her name. And it'll be more front facing. So you come in, you'll be able to see that right away.
What happened to the mailbox?
Mailboxes will be, thank you, Janice, the mailboxes will be right here. They're going to be on both sides of the wall.
Okay.
Fitness center is right here, the existing space. We're going to bump it out onto the grass and create more space. So Becky's office will still be there, but we'll have more equipment, more areas for classes, because right now it's pretty limited. I mean, I was thinking back to the pandemic, we could, because of the size of the space, we could only have 6 people in a class. So now we'll be able to have more of you and add new equipment. Dining room, oak room right here. This is the outdoor patio, koi ponds right here. This is the existing patio that most of you go to. This is the piece that no one really sits in. So the dining area will kick out there. Event center, right, the Maloney Center right here. This actually has been changed as well since this design, because we're getting behind this wall of storage. We're bumping this out, so this room's a little bigger. And this area, the shape is going to change. It's going to be more of an L shape, and this will be, you'll walk into a card room like you have upstairs, and then you can turn and we'll have a sectioned off library over there as well. And then this will be outdoor seating. This is the theater. This is going to be a corridor going to our new wing. So the folks that live in this new wing will be walking through. I'm kind of half calling this our entertainment district, because you have a game area, a card room, you have a theater, and you have the pub. And this is not a wall, this is just showing you where the wall used to be. So this will be more open, so you'll be walking into an open area. And the bar doesn't have to be here, they just threw this in for now, we still have to come up with that. So a lot of the amenity ideas we have are what the room looks like, but we're going to be sending out a survey to all of you to ask you specific questions on what you like, what you don't like, because we want more feedback and input from you, because the amenities are really where we see what others are doing, we see what other communities want, what future generations are telling us, but we need to know what you want as well. So you'll see that in December. Let's see what's next. Oh, upstairs, second floor.
Yeah.
Here's the stairwell. Right where the shuffleboard area is, this is going to be Lisa's office. Where Lori's old office is, this is going to be the boardroom. This will be a conference room for when we hold our meetings. And then these will all be offices. I love that they call this the executive patio. It's not right. If anyone's walked out there, it's really warm. So, but you can see this will be accounting on this side, marketing on this side, CFO, CEO, executive assistants, another accounting office. There'll be a break room up here. So we'll be able to have all the offices that we have right now back in the corner will be upstairs. The greenhouse will still be there.
Executive washrooms.
Executive washrooms. No, I think it's just a bathroom. So this is where the potty is. Oh, this is just to show you what we presented to the town. So this is the existing ridge line that you see from our campus currently. 2 stories. Here's your second floor, first floor. This enormous attic space, it's just a vacuum of space. There's nothing up there except maybe some pipes and wiring. So we can shorten this, have a 3rd floor, but now because of the 2.5, it's going to drop down and part of it will be the same thing. So it'll be in the eave line is the same, the ridge line is the same. So it's really strange. And again, I'm searching in my mind for the wording they used. It doesn't fit the neighborhood, it doesn't fit the look of the neighborhood essentially. You can build 2 stories the same height and it'll block all of our view, but you can't do 3 because it doesn't fit. So it really, there's no logic to it. And I'll show you kind of what it looks like. So this is a photograph right here of the California Road entrance. This is what it looks like. These are our trees now. This is what the ridge line looks like. This is what it'll look like with 2.5 stories. Or as we propose, 3 stories. So it's the same height, and then you just see the different roof line. And then here's another view directly across the street from one of our neighbors. There's trees here, and you really can't see, but there's the same trees, and again, just a different angle. So let me go back. The first one I showed you, there's the California Road entrance right here. So that's the view, we're looking this way. And the next one is, there's the California Road entrance again. We're gonna move down here and look to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And that's what it should look like. Whole new timeline now. So I'm just gonna go right to the end. High level development schedule. And no, I don't know if that's the one I want here. Nope, it must be. So we are right here, we finished schematic design, we went to the town variance, they denied us. We're continuing to design what we have, knowing that we have to scale it back because we have to keep moving, because the biggest, hardest piece is regulatory approval right here. And they have roughly, this is unrealistic, this is probably 9 months. It's probably gonna go out to here somewhere, probably into 2025. So all this could get pushed back. So, again, just in summary, we had to come up with a plan to keep Fox Run viable for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That's my job. My job is to strategically plan for the future. I know, and I've talked to my counterparts in other communities that just expanded, it's a lot of work, it's frustrating, not everyone who lives here is going to love being close to construction, but when it's done, it's worth it. So I promise you that, and we'll do the best we can to make it as easy on all of you as possible. But I'm really excited for the amenities, though, that we're going to be able to bring to you and the improvements that we wouldn't be able to do unless we funded a big project like this with additional units. So with that, are there any questions for me?
I have one.
To be fair, her hand did go up really fast when she was first.
I was wondering, this isn't about the new information you gave us, this is about the old information, with what we live in now. When somebody leaves an apartment, and the wall that is touching the next apartment, can't you fill that with
That's
something?
We can ask. We can talk to our contractors, see what can be done.
Because don't they have those little holes and they shoot things in?
They might. So I'm an accountant, and we can ask that. We'll certainly ask that question.
I mean, I don't have any problems, but I mean, there are a lot of people here that do. That's all.
Yes, and because of that feedback, again, we didn't create a committee that says, tell us what you want. Well, the sound is an issue. We've heard it, and we've gotten that feedback, so we're going to try to incorporate it. But that's a great question, and we'll see what we can do for the existing. We'll certainly ask the question. Oh, I'm sorry, she had the mic, I thought you heard it. She said, can you do something about the sound of our existing units? And the answer is, we'll ask. I can't say for sure.
Will this affect the woodworking shop?
What was the question?
Will this affect the woodwork? I'll repeat every question. I need to pause and think about the question for a second, so my delivery's slow. I don't think it will affect the woodworking shop. The woodworking shop will probably lose those storage cages, which really would affect Matt more than anyone, but the wood shop will still be there, I believe.
Thank you.
Yes?
I have a few items.
Okay.
Shouldn't take more than an hour.
Okay. But if you could just keep them to the expansion, then that'd be great.
Yeah. The gym, I go to the gym and work out. And I know a lot of people go.
I can tell. You look good.
Yeah, thank you. I have to fight off all the women.
I started it, I'm sorry.
So, the gym, there's a lot of equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Some big time stuff. Is all of that used enough to justify keeping it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so and that's one of the things, so before we even started talking about the fitness center, we pulled Becky and Mary at the time, and she touched base with a lot of her classes to see what are the needs, what are people gonna use. Some of the equipment isn't being used because it's not the right equipment. So if we change that, put the right equipment in, it will be used.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And Becky's turning away people in some of her classes because she doesn't have the space. So now, add 90 more people. And now what do we do? So we have to do that.
Get rid of some of that equipment, you'll have more space.
Correct.
Now, the bar.
The bar,
This
yes.
is one close to my heart. On happy hours especially.
Yes.
There's gotta be a bigger bar.
It will be. It's a bigger room.
And you gotta, be able to seat more than 5 people. And usually it's Janice are the first ones there.
Let's start with
Everybody knows.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Leonard,
Secrets.
right here, this is the pub.
Oh, right there.
This is the new pub.
Oh, yeah,
Triple in size.
That's good. Okay. You say that maintenance people are gonna have less space.
Correct.
Now, if you're gonna expand, you're gonna need more maintenance.
Right.
Does that contradict?
It does, which is, see if I can find another slide here. So right here, this is so hard, it takes a second for your eyes to focus. This is the dock right here right now. There's going to be a big maintenance area here that should be able to give Matt quite a bit of space to account for all the carports that he's losing. We do have off-site storage, and we have some other things that are in the works that could give us more storage, which I'm not going to get into now. And if we're able to acquire more land and get space, we'll do it that way. But yeah, so we're well aware of our limitations, but here's the benefit to, and I just asked this question of our architects, 2.5 stories, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of shrunken a little bit, it's gonna be longer, but if this line goes all the way out to here, it's not gonna drop down, it's gonna be attic space. So we'll have storage up there as well. So it should, and some of the things all of you have asked for, we'll be able to accommodate like over the years. You know, maybe we can even have a bathroom on the second floor somewhere, another one.
Just one question.
Okay, sure.
The gallery, where they all,
Yeah, the art gallery.
displays,
Yep.
the art gallery is, what's gonna be the picture for that? I mean, it takes a fair amount of room.
So the art gallery space, the current art gallery, we're going to change it a little for better traffic flow, but it'll allow us to park some of the walkers and scooters there as well to keep them, because right now you're kind of tripping over them to get into the dining room. We're going to be able to move those out of the way. And by the way, I will stay as long as you want to answer as many questions as you need. You had yours, Janice. Yes, Pat. Oh, I'm sorry. Gene, sorry. I was looking back at Pat, and I'm going to follow Allison then, because she's got the mic. We'll come back to you, Pat. Go ahead, Gene.
With the addition of moving the offices upstairs, there's kind of 2 parts to this. One, where did you say the library was going? And secondly, are you going to triple the elevator?
Triple the elevator?
Am I gonna, what?
Size?
Triple the,
gonna be larger.
triple the size of the elevator, and how
We'll
many
take
people
the
are gonna
stairs.
have to go upstairs?
So the existing elevator or the new one, there's gonna be a new elevator with a new wing?
No, in order for people to go upstairs to the offices,
Right.
there's an elevator that can hardly fit 2 people right now.
We're not changing the elevator, we'll just have to be more patient and use the stairs.
So where's the library?
So, this is where we are right now, this is the Maloney Center. This is the billiard area. So we do have a new drawing, this is not completely accurate, but this space right here is gonna be where the library is gonna be, and it's gonna be kind of segmented, it's kind of hard to describe, but it'll be part card room, there'll be the tables for gathering space, you can sit and read, and then the library will be part of that as well. On the first floor.
My name's Pat Kellers, and I live in apartment 149. I'm 88 years old. I won't be around to see this. But I'm wondering how you can go into a project like this when you're not fulfilling the things that we signed up for in our contract,
Such as?
such as the dining service.
Okay, so no one expected the pandemic to leave us in a place where folks don't want to work anymore.
Well, then how can you?
Well, hold on, let me answer the question, please. So, I would say from 2012 until 2022, we've done a great job of fulfilling your contract, of providing enough staff to serve you in the dining room and provide that in the bistro as well. No one saw the staffing crisis coming, and it's not unique to Fox Run. Actually, we're probably better off in most places. We can't look at a project that will open in 2027 likely and say, here's what staffing is in 2023, what are we gonna do? We can't, if you think that way, you're gonna be stagnant, and then we're gonna have a problem in 2027 when we need something. So we're starting the project now with the anticipation that we will be able to fill those spots, that the economy will turn around, that the job market will turn around.
Well, that doesn't help us that are living here right now.
Well, and whether we do the project or not, we're still in the same place with you right now, correct, with the dining room? So let's say we wipe this out. Let's say the board says, you know, we're not doing it because we don't have enough servers. We still don't have enough servers, so that doesn't change. So we need to plan and look forward to the future, and not based on the detail of today. But as for not fulfilling the contract, I think we've done a great job for a very long time. Yes, I will admit, the past year or so has been difficult. I think Lisa and her team have done a really nice job of trying to get through it the best they can. And I do know that she's hired, sorry Lisa, quite a few people that you're gonna see some positive changes in the very near term in the dining room and the bistro, and being able to service you the way you're used to, the way you have for the first 12 years of time.
Well, another thing I'd like to speak to is about rides to doctor's appointments.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to do that once, and I did it a month ahead of time, and there was nothing open. There's just not enough help for people who live here that need to go to doctors.
And that's great feedback, so thank you for sharing that, because that'll be part of our survey. Likelihood is we're gonna have to hire additional drivers and purchase more vehicles. We've tried our best to bring in a house call doctor. We tried to get a clinic here and that didn't work out, but any of you who've moved on to mobile primary, you know, the nurse practitioner, the doctor can see you in your apartment, which saves on rides. It just hasn't gained enough popularity yet to really move the needle on where the rides are, but we're gonna have to add, yes.
Well, most of the time that has to do with going to specialists.
Right, oh, okay, right. So yeah, we will, there's no question, with more people, we're gonna have to add more rides.
And my last thing
Yes,
is, I have a 17-year-old carpet on my floor.
is that a question? Oh, listen, so just like any place, wherever you live, if you want to update, you're welcome to do that, and we can work with you to do that.
Well, that's up to me.
But that'll be up to you, yes. Alona.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm one of those that are gonna be affected along California Road. You're taking out the maintenance building. Those of
Yes.
us who have parking outside of our rooms, is that gonna be still there?
So this is, I believe, Alona, you're right here somewhere?
Somewhere, yeah, around
So this is
the, near
gonna
the maintenance and right,
So
Just
right,
that.
these two carports are gonna go away,
yeah,
and this will, let me see if I can find a better view of it. This is it right here. The parking will change direction, it'll go in this way, and it's gonna create a grassy courtyard as well.
okay.
And there'll be an entrance to get in here and an entrance to get in here.
Okay, for my apartment, I walk right out my patio and my car is there.
Here's your apartment,
Okay,
here's your parking spot.
okay, is that gonna stay? Good. Secondly, is the trash gonna stay where it is?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, good.
That wasn't, I didn't see that in any plans yet.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we will make sure to wash out all of our containers before we recycle them.
And the beans.
Yes, Peg.
I'm kind of overlapping, Alona, on the carports. I take it there'll be no new ones and we'll have a place to park?
There will be no, I don't believe there's new carports coming in, no,
So where will we park?
in the parking lot. So,
We won't have carports anymore.
there's still carports in the front, so we'll do the best we can to accommodate those who have them in the back and get them on the wait list.
What do you mean the front?
The north entrance.
Okay.
But at the same time, we'll have to talk to the architect to see what they can do about offering covered parking. We need the space, and that's the only space where we can build. There may be some other things if we can acquire property to add some carports there, but as of right now, and I'm not saying that's the final design, as of right now, there won't be any carports in the south.
So that does impact us quite a bit.
Oh, it does, and that's, again, that's part of, it's hard to stand up here and tell you that this is the best for the future, because it is gonna impact you today when they start building. There's no question that it will.
Well, even in the future, I mean, it's forever.
You're right.
It's not now, it's always.
But I have to make a decision.
Right.
Do I keep a carport, or do I keep all of Fox Run? And it's all of Fox Run survival means expanding. And those are some of the things we're giving up. I know it's not a great message, and I'm really sorry for it. But at the same time, I'm not saying this is the way it was recently presented to us. So we're still gonna push to see if we can get something somewhere, but we are limited on space and what we can do with covered parking.
I understand that, but I am with Craig. I have had a covered space since I got here 10 years ago, and I hate the idea of giving it up, and I understand we have to move forward. I know I'm the only person this affects right now, but I'm gonna have to have some place to plug my car in.
Okay, so one thing I didn't show you, there's a couple other things we're looking to do. I didn't even show you, so this is the gardens. This is the gazebo. This will be a pickleball court. And it'll be multi-use, so we can take nets down and use that and put up a tent and maybe have events outside. And we are going to bring in charging stations. Marta. So I don't know where they're going to be yet. You won't be the only one, because that's where everyone's headed. That's the future, is plugging in your car. So we will make sure that if you need fuel, so we'll make sure you have a place to plug in. All right, Allison's coming over.
Good question.
Yes.
Is the library going to be bigger than the one we have?
I don't know what the square footage looks like. I don't think it's going to be that dissimilar. I don't know for sure the exact spacing, so the design they gave us, we haven't ironed out the specifics of the amenities yet. So with the apartments we have, so we still have meetings every other Wednesday, 2 hours on Zoom, and we literally look at blueprints to say what should go where. I'll make sure that that we find out what we can do with the library.
We don't have enough room.
Okay,
Over here, over here.
she's got people in the back.
With more people on the first floor in community areas, are we going to set up another set of bathrooms because we residents won't be using the ones on the second floor?
So common area bathrooms will be the same, but there's going to be the new wing. Where are we? So right here will be a whole new wing, and there'll be bathrooms in this wing.
You mean community bathrooms in the new wing?
Correct. So just like you have in the north and south, there's community bathrooms.
Got it.
But in the common areas, we do not have additional bathrooms going in, no.
All right, second question.
Yes.
Where in the New England or Vermont, New Hampshire area are you going to visit?
Well, we're flying into Hartford. We're staying in West Hartford, and we're heading south from there to Elam Park is one of them. Seabury is one of them. And I don't know the name of the third. I didn't expect that question, I'm sorry. It's going to be southwest of Hartford.
So they're Connecticut then?
Connecticut, yes.
All right, thank you.
McLean is the other one. Thank you for coming, Irene.
This is slightly different. I'd like to know where the 8 new houses.
Okay, that's a good one. Eight. So the question is, she'd like to know where the 8 new patio homes are going. So again, this is so hard to see. I'm very sorry. This is the common area. This is the health center right here. So this is the entrance to the health center. This is the memory care wing. This is assisted living here. Assisted living goes this way. This is the new wing where here's Pierre's office right there for HR. So this is the parking lot of the health center entrance. Across from there's going to be a new loop added, and it'll be in the grassy field right out there, right out that door. Right across from the parking lot of the health center.
I just wondered about the large trucks that come through sometimes for deliveries. Can you hear
So you're wondering about the large trucks that come through with deliveries?
as far as traffic?
As far as traffic, well, I don't expect more traffic. I mean, under construction it will be, but as far as when this is all done, deliveries will be the same trucks, just with more stuff in them. So they'll likely be going that way, or we try to get them to go around the back, because the dock is back here. So we try to get them to follow this road.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question, did you eliminate a patio home across from us? 619, 620, somewhere in that range?
We didn't. So this is a very old drawing. So I don't know, it's here, you just can't see it. It's because they have so much vegetation around it.
Yeah, there it is.
Thank you.
But no, it's still there.
Thank you.
They actually did propose, probably about a year ago, they said, we should add parking here, but you just can't kick somebody out of their home to. Can you imagine what Ruth would do to me? Janice.
I didn't hear you say, is Mary Wellington's office going to be upstairs?
Oh, Mary's going to be. Mary is going to be over here as well. So all of resident services and wellness are going to be together.
Are we going to have to go through Pamela to get back there?
No.
Thank God.
No, because, so right here is the new corridor. There's the mailboxes, here's the fitness center, you're gonna be able to go right back.
Thank God.
Pamela she's not gonna let you get into the marketing area.
That's okay.
And right behind Pamela here is gonna be where the copy machine is, and there'll be access this way, but this door can be closed off.
Right.
So, no, you'll have, there's not even, I don't know if there's gotta be, I'm assuming a fire door here, but that'll be open.
Good.
Bill, is your property acquisition on 28 or California?
The one we're hoping, I really don't want to say anything because it's such an early level that I don't want to ruin it, or we have been talking with people in California.
Will you change the road then in front of 621, where the curve is?
So just so for everyone's reference, I'm going to go as fast as I can so you can't see what I'm doing. So right now, this is the road and here's a curve here, right? Hypothetically, if we were ever to, say, acquire this piece of property here, I believe the water feature would change and the road would change. So this would extend out this way and probably curve around. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. That nice front yard you had in your opening presentation would now be a road. Matt wouldn't have anywhere to plow 100 cubic yards of snow.
Well, it would be if we, and this is a big if, we may not even be able to do it. This would still be here. This is your yard. The road would likely extend this way, and I'm guessing the architect has not said anything, and so we'd be plowing it straight through, and it wouldn't be sitting in your view. It would be down to patio homes over here. It'd be their view. Don't tell them.
Just so everybody knows that on every Zoom call that we have every week, when they have all these proposals and stuff, I'm on the Zoom calls as well, and these things I do look at and I weigh in as well. Whether it's, you know, snow removal, whether it's carport issues, whether it's a maintenance shed or anything of that nature. And everybody's involved, or all of us are involved in these discussions. And we always, and like I said, these are only proposals, so we're weighing in on this, which is a lot different than it was when Fox One was originally built.
And no offense, Matt, but Matt's kind of a pain in the butt in these meetings because you have somebody who isn't here that is making a suggestion, and then Matt raises his hand and says, well, I get what you're saying, but here's the reality of what we see every day. Here's what when we try to maintain something. Here's what I heard from the resident that lives in this area. So we really try to incorporate all of that with any of their thoughts or suggestions.
And snow removal is a huge issue.
It is. And also the likelihood of, if we are ever able to hypothetically acquire this, it may be nothing. It may be just green space. It may be a park. There could, I mean, I had joked originally when we looked at this, let's put a bridge over the moat here and make it a little park setting. You know, there's so many, this is not part of the plan. But it could be if we could put storage over there and then access only from the driveway here. We don't know. This is all just hypothetical at this point because we may not even be able to acquire it. Yes?
There's been
I would like
piece of
to know
property.
about the
Well, I'm
wetlands.
sorry. I jumped. I didn't see you back there, Allison?
Yeah.
With the
I would
mic?
like to know about the wetlands designation for the old Daisy Field across from the health center.
So that is this area right here. This is not wetland. I wish I had a wetland map. Okay, this shows you the wetland. Oh wait, wrong button. Take this thing away from this guy. Okay, so this is the health center. This is the common area. This is that field you're talking about. This is not wetland. This blue checked area is. So we reached out to the DEC. We had engineers talk to, and it's not just federal. It's federal, state. It's to find out where this designation is. This blue is wetland. Where this red dotted line is, and you can't see a yellow line probably from there. There's a buffer zone, and so the new patio homes will go up to the buffer zone, and we do have the right to build up to and touch the buffer zone. So it's not wetland.
I've been wondering about the piece of property that's for sale up the way towards the village. It's far, far away.
Mm-hmm. the old TV
Been for sale
station.
For a long time.
So we have a board member, or someone who's no longer on the board, that suggested that several years ago. That's been for sale for a while. So we looked into it, and it's about $10 million. And it comes with a building that would have to be knocked down, so demo cost me another few $1 million. It's just not worth it. It'd be great to have it, sure, but whereas something here might be a couple $100,000, it's over here, and it's way too expensive. Right over here, Mr. Quinn's got a question. And keep in mind, we can do this again if you have more questions. I think there's an open forum planned for the beginning of January. We can talk about this more.
When are the additional expenses of this project going to begin to impact on my friends here?
When are the additional expenses of this project going to impact everyone here? I guess I'm trying to fish through what you're asking. So operating expenses, or the cost to build it? What do you say? So we're not going to build until we secure financing, which will be probably bond financing, and it'll be additional debt essentially. So that should not impact any of you at all. What should impact you is by bringing in new community members, there's more cash flow coming in to pay those rising operating costs. So our goal is to keep your costs from ever going up to that 4.5% that we did the last 2 years. That's our goal. And we don't want it to keep creeping. So once it's built, the margin, and when I say the margin, is the cash flow coming in versus the cost to add staff, add utilities, is going to be so much smaller than the revenue coming in. So it should be a benefit to all of you. It should reduce the cost per person to operate. But as for paying for the expansion, it's going to be with debt, and we're going to borrow more, and then with the folks coming in, that new cash will help pay down that debt, that mortgage payment on a monthly basis. Does that answer your question?
No, somewhat.
Okay. I feel like you look skeptical. It's kind of a vague question. We have spent some money. We did have some cash in reserve to get to this point, and it's been significant, but not too significant.
How much?
So, how much what?
How much have you spent thus?
I don't have a number off the top of my head. But and we have an architect we're paying, and we have attorneys looking into it, and we have a development company, so it's in the six-figure range, obviously. But that we've been able to build up over time. We did receive an employee retention credit with a significant amount of cash that's helping fund the initial pre-construction stuff that we're spending right now. So you're not being charged any of it. And that's not going to impact any of you.
Bill?
Wait, no, I'm following the microphone. Yes, Pat?
It's me again, sorry about
Hi,
that.
Pat.
Is any of the money that is to be returned to us as we leave this earth from here, is that going to be used to finance this project?
It is not. So the question was, our refunds that you have to give us are the 90%, if you have that style contract that goes back to your state, that money's not being used to fund this at all. It'll be brand new borrowing.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Ernst?
Are the amenities improvements dependent on the construction being approved?
Yes, that's a great question. So the question is, are the amenities dependent upon the expansion? It is, because what we're proposing to do internally is a big project, and it's a lot of money, and that would require taking money from your refunds. We're not doing that. So if we can't get this project off the ground, we're not going to do the amenities. We will, over time, we'll likely expand the fitness center over time, but it's not going to be an immediate big build-up like we're looking right now.
I don't quite understand if it's a yes or no. Yes, you might, no, you might.
Wait, what?
On the refund money.
The refund? I thought I answered your question about the refund.
You said you might.
No, his question was, if you don't expand independent, are you going to do the amenity stuff? And I said, no, because we likely have to borrow money from all of you to do it. So we're not doing that,
Good, thank you.
but we will improve over time, but we're doing the project.
Is this presentation being recorded?
Yes.
Good, that's good.
What was the question?
Is the presentation being recorded?
Oh,
Yes, Gabby?
hi, thank you. I understand that you will be adding 2 new wings.
Yes.
Will they be comparable to the wings?
I'll repeat it.
Will they be comparable to the outside of the ones that are there now? Will they all be the same or will they be different?
So the question is, with the new wings, will the new units be comparable to what we have? They will be comparable to what we already have, yes. With little tweaks based on feedback you've given us over the years. Hi, Jan.
Hi, Bill. I think maybe you could explain briefly that there are 2 categories of funds at Fox Run. One is strictly operational, and the other one is capital. And maybe people are confusing the 2?
Sure, so it's easy. So what Jan, and the best way to answer this is with an example. She said, I sometimes will talk about 2 pots of money. So when people see that we put a fire pit and a patio outside of the pool, the first thing I heard was, you should use that money to hire staff, or you should pay people more money. Payroll, operating costs come from your service fees. And we budget each year to 0. We break even. That's how we do it. So to do a capital improvement, that's a different pot of money. That's money that we've built up over time. So let's say in 2018, we beat the budget and we saved Fox Run $200,000. That goes into a separate pot, and we use that to reinvest back in the community. So you remember where I said communities need to keep making improvements before they're too old? So that is capital money. That's money that we've saved over time that we're able to reinvest back in the community to do projects like that. As for paying people, payroll, salaries, that comes from your monthly service fee, and that's strictly on a budget that we know exactly how much we can pay out, we can spend each year, and how much we shouldn't spend each year. So two pots of money as I look at it.
Just a quick follow-up.
Sure.
Do people who have the non-refundable entry fee, does that money go into the capital account?
Great question. So, and the question is, to the people with the non-refundable entry fee, where does that money go? So many of you in this room have a 90% refundable contract. The 10% we keep, and we use to reinvest in the community. Those of you with a traditional style contract, where over time that refund gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and after 4 years there is no refund, that also stays with Fox Run, that we reinvest back in the community. So again, anything that's non-refundable, we're keeping and doing things like creating more amenities or updating the common area. And the refund, of course, goes back to your estates. Yes, Sue?
The third wing, I'm a bit confused. Is the third wing a definite, or is the third wing only if you can't get what you want on wing 1 and wing 2?
That has yet to be determined. Right now it's leaning toward definite. But so Sue's question is, the third wing, that was something the architect just proposed late because we can't do the 3 stories. So in order for us to get the right number of additional units to pay for this project, we did add that third small piece. It's looking like, based on the town's response, that we will have to have that. But again, nothing's set in stone yet.
Got it, thank you. In order to obtain a bond, you have to have a bond rating.
Yep, okay, go ahead.
I just wondered what it was.
Okay, so if anyone wants to borrow money from the public to build something like this is what Fox Run did when it first opened. It does not have to have a bond rating at the time you borrow. A bond rating is something you earn because you're successful. Fox Run's bonds are actually rated. Starting in 2015, because we've been able to operate this community effectively and efficiently, our bonds went from unrated to to triple B minus, which is technically investment grade rated. Since then, it's been bumped up to triple B. I know many of you are like, well, it should be triple A, those are the only good bonds. Those are really big companies that have been doing that for a long time. It's only 10% of all CCRCs in the country have investment grade rated bonds, and Fox Run is one of them. So for us to borrow new dollars, those new bonds do not need to be rated, but it helps that our existing bonds are, because it'll give us a better and lower interest rate. Yes, Ruth?
To initiate this plan, did you say $50 million?
So this is just off the top. So we've thrown around numbers because we've looked at, so back in early this spring, we said, here's what it could look like, and it's the one that was rejected. And the builders, without any designs, just had to throw a number at it and say, I don't know, 30 million. And they were actually pretty close. So right now, we think it's going to be about 32 million in construction costs. But this is based on what we know today. Construction is going to start for at least a year. It could go up. We hope it doesn't. So that could change. So when I say 50 million, that would be construction, that would be all the legal fees, the borrowing fees, everything that goes with it, because that does escalate pretty quickly. So if I had to throw a dart at it, I would throw a dart at 50 million. Well, all of you who are still in this room, you're so patient, because I know you've been here a long time. It's going on 2 hours. So again, I'd love to have a final slide that says how change can be tough, and I get it, and that's why it's difficult to share this message and show and try to convince you that this is the best thing going forward, because some of you will be impacted, because you've had a recent experience where the dining isn't what you wanted it to be. Or your carport is going to go away. These are things that come with change, and there's no way around it. We can't hide and say, no, it'll be there. I want to be upfront and as transparent as possible. So any questions that you have, you can come to me and ask me. You can talk to Matt. You can talk to our CFO. You can talk to Lisa. She's been involved in all the dining aspects of this conversation. But we're also going to have, I believe, an open forum in January. So you can come back. So you're all going to go back and stew on this for a little bit and say, well, I should have asked this. Save those questions, write them down, and you can hit us up again. Hopefully we'll have a clearer picture of what things are going to look like based on our next meetings. Probably not, because we're going before the town planning board for a conceptual design meeting. We're going to show them, what if we do this 2.5 stories, will you allow it? And we should get some good feedback as to what it would take to get there. And at that point, maybe I'll have some updated slides. I'm going to turn these boards around and leave these here. Just leave them in the event center if you want to take the time to look at them. But again, come back with questions. I will do the best I can to answer as honestly everything that we have. And I think I've done that. So hopefully you're okay with where things are. And have a great Friday. Have a great weekend.